Let's see if we can get this right today. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Is anything muted? Let's run the shit. Welcome to William versus the World. Everybody, please, 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 if you're seeing this right now, this is the time to share the feed to your story. You know what's really helpful I've seen people do lately is folks that are joining like podcast groups. Oh, sorry about that. Guitar players over there. Like podcast groups, speaker groups, live stream groups. I just want to say thank you to all the people who have been kind of understanding like what we're doing here. You know, there's no real way to get this information out to people unless we unify, come together, and get this stuff out. I've noticed a lot of you have been cutting some of the videos up and making reels out of the content here. I noticed some of you have been sharing our podcast and live streams to other like social media groups and podcast groups. That's really helpful. It's completely free. Feel free to chop our shit up, steal your favorite clips. I know that there's tools for that on Instagram and Meta, Facebook. You could just watch any video, and there's tools, you know, within the dashboard where you can cut up other people's reels and share stuff. So to you guys that and gals that have been sharing the live streams and podcasts out, thank you so much. Yo, what's up, Hans? We're here for some music industry, social media, and technology news. I don't really think it's news. I think it's more like conversation. Maybe that's how I should say it from now on. Maybe it's not news. Maybe it's more like an update. Yo, Scott's here. What's up, y'all? Coffee's fucking, it's hot. It's bold. Yeah. We got the morning coffee army in the house. Are you guys coffee drinkers, tea drinkers, vodka drinkers? What's your deal? Hans, you're the only zombie. You're a zombie. You're the only zombie I know, Hans. Let's talk about some stuff on the internet. There's a lot of shit. Thank you for sharing or hosting the stream. I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like I should have like a separate monitor. Like I can see the chat, but I can't really see what you guys are seeing unless I look at the internet. But if I'm looking at a monitor, then I can't read, right? The fuck? All right, let me share this. Let me share this out because I didn't share it. I'm gonna share the feed right now, and then we'll start it up because I didn't even share it out. I'm telling you guys to share it. I didn't even share it yet. All right, hold on. See, I have all these groups. I'm gonna name them as I go through. I've got a New England, New Hampshire Music Network. We've got Rock Rage Radio. We've got Band Together, The Music Room, Promote Your Podcast. I'm sharing in all these groups. Why? Because it's free. And if they don't like it, they can just delete it. Podcasters, speakers, New England podcast clips, the local band page. This is for all these people. Why not, right? Black Podcast Support Network. I'm a black guy. I could do that. What else do we got? We got podcasters on Facebook. Let's do that one too. We've got Podcast Promotion USA. We're just going to share to all these groups and probably get kicked out of them. I like how all these people do have all these groups and secretly they don't want nobody to fucking share anything. How many people we got in the group now in the swarm? Like 15,000? Anybody that's in our groups are actually for sharing. So if you're a creator or an original musician or something like that, don't be afraid to share in our groups. That's what it's for. Like the groups that Sepsis has, they're not groups for our band. Let me make it clear. The only time that we have groups or host groups, it's hopefully for other people and networking, you know? We have a lot of friends, hundreds of thousands of friends and colleagues and peers that are in art, entertainment, strip clubs, cam girls, gamers, streamers, rockers, rappers. That's why we have these groups. So our friends can be in them. I don't know why these other people have groups. It's like they have groups, but they don't really want you to fucking share anything. Like if I see a rock or roll metal group or whatever, if you don't look the way that they want you to look, they're going to delete your content. If they don't love your material, you know, if you go into a heavy metal group, that's really loud. If you go into a heavy metal group and you don't play the kind of heavy metal that group, whatever their tastes are, let's say, you know, support metal group on Facebook or Reddit, and you're like, oh, cool, look at this. It's a group that supports heavy metal. And then, you know, you put a couple of your bands in there, the first thing you're going to get is a group of people rejecting you. I was just trying to remind everybody today that local music, being in an original band, that is for people who are ready to master rejection. Somebody told me today that, you know, cover bands are really cool because they get a lot of people in the door and trick people into listening to their covers. I have a different take on that. I have absolutely no problem with covers or tributes or bands that do that. I'm a firm believer in play what makes you happy and be true to yourself kind of guy. That's the type of person I am. But to make the argument that everybody should be doing that or that's a great idea for original bands, I would not give that advice to original bands. That's like trying to tell somebody that's pursuing the industry to be independent, you know, or somebody that's trying to achieve independence, somebody that's trying to be self-employed and then telling them to go through the corporate world. That doesn't make any sense, guys. I get it. I get it. If you do Britney Spears covers and Tool covers, maybe people will turn around at the bar. But I don't know, man. If you can get booked and you're a great original band, I feel like it's better to have 10 quality people love you for who you authentically are rather than trying to bait and switch and convert music fans into liking your original music by playing covers. That's my take on it. But, you know, to each their own. I would rather have 15 Sepsis fans rather than, you know, 100 people in the club that weren't interested. That's my take. All right, I'm going back to Sharon. I already fucking derailed myself. I haven't even done anything yet, you see? That's how broken I am. Independent fucking artist. Let's do this one. See that? Local music, keeping it real. Anytime you see groups that have, you know, are titled Keeping It Real, you know that's some bullshit. What you do is you go and you make the realest video you possibly can, and then you post it there and watch them reject it. I was explaining to people that are in cover bands and tribute bands, cover bands and tribute bands they will advertise that, hey man, doing covers will initially get a bunch of people in the door. And I do understand that. I totally do. So I'm nothing against them. However, I will say this though. You know I was going to say something else. That's not always the path of original acts. You know, original acts they look at it differently. It's not necessarily all about getting or tricking people into the performance so much as it's the responsibility is different. We have to master and manage rejection. Being an original band is about managing rejection, where being in a cover band is about being accepted. You know what I mean? Like playing covers and playing tributes, it's initially to get accepted by people, initially, and then win them over later on. The goal of a lot of original bands is to write music that's so good that it captures people without using covers. Like, that's the goal of original bands. That's the challenge of being in an original band. It's also the reward and success. Sure, you can play covers, and absolutely, initially, that sets a course for you to gain attention and momentum. No question, and I have no problem with that. But I do think it's misunderstood that handfuls or all or many original bands pursuing an original career climb should take this avenue, because then people will come to expect you to do covers. I would rather be expected to write good originals. I would rather be pressured. I would rather have the responsibility to nail originals. But that is a matter of taste. But for the record, I think true, authentic, original bands don't usually lean towards covers and tributes outside of having fun. I want to make that clear. I think true original bands outside of having fun want nothing to do with covers, because the true challenge of being an original band is writing music that captivates people in such a way where you wouldn't need them. Original bands have a different challenge, and that challenge isn't mimicking music or tributing music or covering music or sampling music with the initial idea to get acceptance. Original bands, from day one, they have to learn how to manage rejection. That's something different. That's something different, guys. Well, see this. Look, your post was removed from the indie music artist admin. Well, fuck that dude. Like, this isn't. I'm in an independent band. This is independent music news, and the admin of this independent group removed this particular program because of what? What do you think it was? So there are groups on Facebook, and there are, this is what I mean about people rebranding and role-playing and cosplaying independence. Like, if you have an independent musician group on Facebook, and it's prioritizing and advertising, and it's titled Independent Local Music Group, this is a live stream dedicated. You guys know me. I don't even listen to celebrity rock and roll. This particular live stream is dedicated to teaching and talking and developing and helping independent DIY musicians on social media. So why would an independent group, why would any admin of an independent rock and roll group not want programs and podcasts and live streams that, look at the screen, that directly read from the day-to-day updates in the music industry? That just seems crazy to me. And that's why nobody ever learns, everybody, is because people have groups on Facebook that say independent rock, or it will say metal family, and then you'll go and try to share something in there, and they will deny or reject it. As I said, being an original band is about rejection, and it's about managing it. It's about leveraging rejection. Being a true, authentic, original band isn't about fitting in. It's about managing and leveraging rejection. And that's why Sepsis doesn't do covers. Because we manage and leverage rejection. I'm not saying that it's not good for some bands to manage and leverage acceptance. I think that's something too. But that is a different career path. That's like somebody that's trying to manage and leverage independence. Oh, so what are you going to do? Get a fucking record deal? I mean, have some common sense. Just have some common sense. Compromise with the English language, not with me. Criticism builds character, Scott says. Yeah, I think that's true. I could never really, no one could ever really hurt my feelings in rock and roll or music, because when I got into music, that was a part of my music culture. I grew up on gangster rap and hip hop and shit like that. You know, I grew up in prisons and in the street. So managing rejection, you know, was something that I had to do as a baby boy. The way I look, I was the only person that looked like me on my street. I was the only person that looked like me in my home. I was the only person that sounded like me in most classrooms. So for me, I wanted to be an original band because my ability to manage rejection. Not to mention a great deal of my childhood, you know, and as a young man, you know, they dragged me in newspapers and humiliated me in press and different stuff like that. My family was dragged all throughout the street and put in news articles and, you know, things that since then have all been ironed out and come to surface naturally. That's how it is. But no one ever apologizes. You know, people don't leave good reviews. Hey Trisha, how's it going? Trisha's in the building. Scott always got great stuff to say. He says, being in an original band, you have to learn how to take criticism. Yeah, being in an original band. I think that's hard for some people to understand. Some people that are in original bands that go, you know, let's do a bunch of covers so we can become accepted. Where there's a different kind of original band that goes, let's not do what people want us to do and what people, you know, let's not do what everybody else is doing. Let's break a few rules and let's take some risks. So we're not doing, you know, people go, let's play covers so we can fit in. And people go, let's not play covers so we can fit out. To each their own, right? As long as you're doing what you love to do, and as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, and you're having fun, and you're being yourself, man, who gives a fuck, you know, what it is, you know? As long as you love what you're doing, and you're taking care of yourself, and you're doing things for the right reason, that's all that matters. DJ Rockhog, how's it going? It was weird because you can't see it on this side, but your name is purple, so it was hard for me to read. I think somebody needs some new glasses. I think that somebody is me. I do. The train has left the station. You guys ready for some AI news? It's been a couple minutes since I've given you guys some AI news. I try to give you guys a little breaks here and there. A little conversation, a little streaming news. A lot of times we don't look at this stuff every day because, you know, for some of us it can be exhausted learning how much of a failure buying and selling has become online, how much of a failure social media has been for society, and generally how much of a failure the music industry is. It's really tough for musicians to hear the information on this program because we talk a lot about failure. And we talk about failure not because we fear it. We talk about failure so we can understand it, and we can learn from it. There's so many examples of failure in music industry. It's terrifying for little dreamy rockers. Scott says, a lot of people can't handle it. I was just saying that. Look at that. You see what he's saying? Look, I didn't even know he was saying that. Scott was saying it on the other end. Let's read what he's saying. A lot of people can't handle it. If you're a musician, an actor, rapper, people will like what you do. Then some won't. It's what you do with that criticism that builds you. It's what makes or breaks you. In this business, you need to be confident about what you're putting out there. I agree to that. And you know what's another one I think people don't pay attention to, Scott? Is success too. Like, people will look at failures and go, oh, this is what we need to avoid, or here are the behaviors that we need to duck, or here are the relationships and the networks and people that you should avoid. Like, you get a lot of that. You get a lot of, you need to be able to take a punch. You need to be able to have thick skin. You need to be, rugged and tough and robust. We hear a lot of that. You know what we don't hear, though, Scott? We don't hear a lot about you need to be flexible. You need to be generous. You need to be humble. You need to be kind. You need to be ready to adapt. These are things that you don't usually hear. You need to compromise. Just like you said, people don't know what to do with it. People don't know how to handle criticism or feedback or leverage bad news. Same thing. People don't know how to leverage success. You hear a lot about being viral or being monetized, but how many of your friends do you know that have 20,000 followers here or 1 million plays there? And if they did, how would they handle it, right? Look at some of your friends and some of your colleagues and peer groups that hit a couple thousand plays or to get their first 100,000 plays. Some of these people act like they've shattered records, right? But that's what I'm trying to say about doing things for the right reasons. And when Scott was talking about being able to handle it, being able to handle and manage rejection and leverage, being able to pivot on bad news, and turn that bad news into something, turn that bad news into energy. Yeah, I think also people have a tough time with success. When they finally do get that 400,000 follower mark, they do get that YouTube plaque, they do win a couple awards. It's like, can you handle that? Can you manage that? Can you leverage that for something great? How are you going to take this? How are you going to take those 40,000 followers? I got 40,000 followers. Okay. You got 20,000 followers. You got 100 million followers. But first, is it authentic? Is it real? Where did it come from? And out of that percentage, how many of those people are finding value and adding value into you? And how are you leveraging that? What are you doing? Great. You've got yourself a blue check. Awesome. You got yourself a Spotify plaque. What are you going to do? You won the New England Music Awards. What are you going to do? You're selling out rooms, right? So, you're packing rooms full of hundreds of people. That's awesome. What are you going to do with it? When you do that big Britney Spears cover and everybody turns around at the bar, that's awesome. Now you got the floor. What are you going to do with it? You got to Sonic Temple. What did you do with it? If you're a small band and you're on your way to a festival this year, for us, we're going to Rockfest this year, Wisconsin. It's, yeah, we're going to play on stage. We're going to have a merch table and stuff like that. But best believe our band is already thinking, wow, 40,000 people. What are we going to do with this opportunity? How are we going to leverage this and make this an optimal, opportunity and positive experience for our team and our family and the band and the fans? How can we connect with all of our fans at Rockfest? How can we build a strategy to make this moment the most it can be? That's the type of stuff that we think about. So yeah, sometimes it's not really about can you handle playing the music? Can you handle just bad news and rejection? Can you handle success? Can you handle getting 10,000 real followers? If you got 10,000 fake followers, that's easy to handle because they're not really there. But what happens when there's really people counting on you? When they're not bots? What happens when you get, somebody having 5,000 fans on their page? If they're fake, that's not really a big deal. But if you got two to 5,000 fans, I mean that's about 10% of the city I grew up in. I'm from a small little town, but it's a music town and it's a famous little music town. And it's like if you're doing well out there, you're doing well anywhere. So I know, if you got 100,000 followers of real followers, if you have 100,000 real followers on Spotify, then 1 to 10% of that, are your real fans that you can connect with. You need to be looking at how to leverage that, how to make a connection with those important people. All right, a little AI news and we'll move on. Wait a minute, what the fuck happened to it? Yo, what's going on? Yo, this shit said I hit my monthly limit. You see this shit? How does it know I hit my monthly limit? I'm gonna refresh it. Yo, look at this. Yo, it says I read so much about the music industry that I hit a limit. What? That's crazy. I've never seen nothing like that. That's alright, fuck them. We got more news. Did I hit my limit here too? I never seen anything quite like that. Yo, that's wildin'. Oh my God. Alright, bye guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, somebody just emailed me. Maybe that. Nope, just people offering me insurance policies. I'm really interested, real quick. I'm going to tap on this and see if I can read this from another place. I've never seen anything like that before. Look, I can read it on this side. I might read it on this side. That's mean. These motherfuckers mean, bro. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. Okay, let me just read this to you because it is crazy. In the meantime, I'll put up a picture of Spotify to trigger all of you. All right, this is about AI, though. The train has left the station. Is the music industry really ready for the flood of music made with artificial intelligence that will play out over the course of 2024? Are you guys ready for artificial intelligent music? You might have already heard of the astonishing volume of tracks being created on services like Boomy, where 19.5 million songs have been generated to date. This year's big noise, AI music-wise, has come from two new startups, Suno and Audio, both of which appear to produce music with an obvious influence from world-famous copyrighted material. You may remember Udio. I think it's called Udio. 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 That's what I'm going to call it. That's U.S. headquarters company co-created by ex-employees of Google's DeepMind AI division. So that's who they are. Last month, Udio announced that it had raised $10 million in a funding round led by Andreessen Horowitz, the very same tech investment giant that has argued that generative AI models should be permitted under U.S. law to freely ingest copyrighted music. That's what he believes. In the words of Horowitz's submission to the U.S. Copyright Office last year, imposing the cost of actual or potential copyright liability on the creators of AI models will either kill or significantly hamper their development. Udio, whose other investors include will.i.am and United Masters, is attracting significant attention. It's reported that over 600,000 people tested the platform out in its opening 2 weeks of public availability. But that's not the standout stat from recent Bloomberg article covering the growth of Udio and Suno. On average, Udio's users are now creating 10 tracks a second on the platform. Imagine that shit. 10 tracks every second. Oh, there goes another 10. There goes another 10. There goes another 10. AI is creating 10 songs on Udio every second. Oh, there goes 60 more songs, everybody. There goes, it just in the time of me talking to you about this service, millions of songs have been uploaded. Just imagine how fucking crazy that is. Like, we can't listen to music that quickly. Like, music is being uploaded at such a rate we can't even fucking experience it. It's like, hey, did you hear the new... Hey, did you guys hear that new... I didn't hear a damn thing. I'm still listening to Rump Shaker. All I want to do is zoom, 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 zoom. Yo, you tag Geo. He's gonna have a fit. He's gonna have a fit. All right. A little more. Some big questions inevitably follow such an incredible... Oh, I'm sorry. Some big questions inevitably follow such incredible numbers, included but not limited to: how many of these 864,000 daily tracks on Udio are ending up on music streaming services, and what does their arrival on said platforms mean for the royalty pool? I mean, that royalty pool gets divided among artists and right holders, right? How many of these 864,000 daily tracks bear an uncanny resemblance to music made by established artists? Remember when AI expert Ed Newton-Rex used Udio to create tracks? He generated music that bore clear similarities to established hits made by the likes of ABBA, the Beatles, and Elton John. How many of these 864,000 daily tracks then go on to compete for listeners' attention versus the original tracks on which they draw their influence? And even more important question for all of the music business, will there ever be an industry standard technology able to successfully fingerprint copyrights that are fed into AI models, like that which is spawning Udio's 864,000 daily tracks? Through this fingerprinting technology, will the creators of said original copyrights be able to consent to a license for and get paid royalties by services such as Udio? Universal Music Group, the biggest music rights holder of all, is currently embroiled in a legal battle against Amazon-backed generative AI platform Anthropic, which UMG is accusing Anthropic of willful copyright infringement. All of these companies, they just fucking steal from each other, commit crimes on each other, and then write press articles about it that we can read. This whole thing is like just a massive fucking crime. The whole, it's not just AI, it's the whole thing, you know? The Grammys, the billboards, the fucking manufacturers, at every level and every tier of the entertainment business, you're finding just people taking advantage of emerging technology, ledgers, receipts. It's fucking crazy. The music industry is half of it's like gadgets, the other half of it's like the courtroom. It's definitely not music. That's why we talk about it. When I tell this is the real music industry. People think the music industry is, Ronnie Radke forgot his laptop and shit like that. No. This is it. You're seeing it. When people are like, damn, Will, this shit is depressing, I'm showing it to you. That's why we only do an hour of this program. That's why we only do the hour. We realize it. Nobody wants to. Come on, you want to do 6 hours of this fucking shit? Drive you crazy. Because really, once you start looking at the music industry, you have to start looking at agriculture, you have to start looking at banking, you have to start looking at retail, you have to start looking at everything. Once you realize how fucked up the music industry is, you realize I'm not reporting on the music industry at all. The only reason why I'm talking about it in this form is because I'm qualified, and I can prove it. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm qualified to talk about how fucked up the world is in terms of music because I've been doing it my whole life, I'm familiar with all the laws and the technology, and I'm familiar with all the troublemakers. But if you watch this program, if there's anything you can really learn about this program here, this live stream it's designed to encourage you to ask questions about the things going on in your own life, It's designed to have you question things that are going on in your own neighborhood. That's what this program really is about. So if you see, you see what me and Melissa are going through in the music industry, you might think about what's going on in your own industry. You might ask yourself, hey, wait a minute, why can't I share my salary with my coworkers? Wait a minute. How come I can't be paid fairly? I've worked at Walmart for 15 years. This is, hopefully we can encourage you guys to go, wait a minute. Apartments aren't affordable. Just shit like that, If we can encourage you guys to go, man, this is unfair. We need to look at this. It's not really a matter of good versus evil. It's just a matter of all of us being able to talk straight and put the information on the table for examination. for examination. That's why we do these articles. Spotify. More news in Spotify. Spotify's recent bundling of audiobooks with its music offering is changing how it pays songwriters and publishers. With an estimated $150 million in lost revenue, the music publishing industry isn't thrilled about the upcoming changes. In addition of the audiobook feature to its existing Spotify premium offering, allows the platform to claim a new bundled disbursement rate, and that's ranking music publishers large and small. Rankling? I've never heard that fucking word before. It's rankling? Rankling? You guys put a one in the chat if you've heard of that before. Rankling. Rankling. All these years I've never heard of that, and I tell you, rankling, when I come up with a word on here and I don't know what it means, I know you guys have those friends in your life that they use words because they heard them on Scrabble or TV or the internet. They heard it TikTok or something like that, and they start using words, algorithm, and they start using words they heard on the internet without learning about them, out of fear for people looking and sounding like idiots. People will use or try to use big complicated words to sound fucking smart, and then shoot themselves in the foot and basically wind up not being able to accomplish what they were fearing in the first place, which was not looking like a moron. So my advice to you people that do this, you have these fucking computers in your pocket. Stop using English words that you don't know. Slow the conversation down. Stop trying to be an expert. No fish would ever be caught if he didn't open his mouth. All right? Slow the conversation down and use your stupid phone to help you figure out the English language. Stop making up shit to try to sound like a smart internet guy. It's fucking terrible. I hate to burst your bubble, but someone had to tell you. You see what I'm doing here? I didn't know the word, so I looked it up. There's so much pressure on the internet for everybody to be experts. Nobody will bother looking anything up because they go, wow, I don't want anybody to catch me looking stuff up. They're going to think that I'm not an expert. Guys, chill with that shit. Just stop doing it. If you need a reason to stop doing it because I told you to stop doing it. You don't even need to do the work. I did it for you. Knock it off. Take the extra minute, take the extra moment before shooting off your mouth in the comment section and look up whatever you're talking about. Before you use the big word, just stop, slow it down, and look up what you're trying to say so you can say what you mean and you can mean what you say. And then this way you don't have to go through the rest of your life blaming others for being so misunderstood. Right? All right. Rankle. A comment, event, or fact that causes annoyance or resentment and persists. Its archaic meaning also means a wound or sore. So you could have a rankle on your ankle. That's crazy. Oh, no. Ooh. Yeah, you don't want no rankles. You want to stay away from that. So there you go. That's what they said about that. They're rankled. So in addition to the audiobook feature, existing Spotify's premium offering allows the platform to claim a new bundled disbursement rate. And that's rankling music publishers large and small. See, now that makes a lot more sense. The new Spotify premium rates values audiobooks at $9.99 and the premium bundle at $10.99. After doing the math, that means Spotify only values music at 52% of the total bundled value. Just $5.70 per Spotify premium subscriber. Now, I think this is interesting because I said this a few months ago. When we all joined Facebook, we all joined believing it was a different thing than it is today. When we all got into the social media, we didn't get into social media thinking that everyone had to like us. We didn't get into social media all believing that we were in some lottery popularity competition contest. We never agreed to that. That happened over time. When you guys first downloaded Spotify and Pandora and Amazon Music, you never in your fucking mind thought that it was going to become another social media platform. Spotify is becoming just another social media platform. TikTok is becoming like YouTube. YouTube is becoming like TikTok. Amazon wants to be like Spotify. Spotify wants to be more like Instagram, and so on and so forth. When Spotify was originally advertised to us, it was advertised as being a safe place for people to put their catalog and organize their catalog of music, and there was a chance for artists to help themselves make a living. That is not the fucking place it wound up being. It's a popularity contest video game. Same could be said for Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. All of these sites, in some way or another, they're just like applications, like attention popularity contest machines with polls and stickers and rewards that grown adults could act like children on. But the point I'm trying to make is that Spotify was not advertised to us as a podcast media network. Most of us, when we first started using Spotify, we thought that it was a music app. We were all told that it was a music program that we could download on our phones where we could listen to music. So the initial advertisement for us to get involved in this stuff, same thing with Facebook and social media, is that we'd all have connectivity. We'd all be able to, be able to share our information and art and create conversations with each other. We'd all be able to contact our followers and send them, our events and updates. But social media, music apps, media apps, none of them have done this. Originally, there was supposed to be all of these places, this technology that was going to help all of us connect. Spotify has not helped us connect with our followers. They won't even tell us who our followers are. Like, if you have 100,000 followers on Spotify, there's no way of looking at who those people are or identifying, even if they're real. Same could be said when they want you to pre-save. There's nothing that the artist gets from Spotify by asking our families and people to pre-save. There's no way to measure if people have pre-saved. We're not even able to tell who pre-saved unless the people pre-saved tell us. There's no general reward for us. The only reward is for the app. The only, I guess, motivation to go pre-save is for fans to have a chance to support their artists. But we'll never be able to measure that because there is nothing on Spotify. There are no tools to measure or even thank the people who've pre-saved. There's no way to look at your followers. They hide your followers. They hide the information on pre-saves. You don't know how many pre-saves you got. You don't know who did it, so you can't thank them. What's so good about these guys keeping secrets from us? Originally, when we first signed up to this stuff, they didn't say, hey, you guys were going to build massive followers and we were going to keep it a secret from you. Right? That shit is mind-blowing to me. So yeah, guys. I mean, I'm not a paid subscriber to Spotify. I don't talk poorly about Spotify because I have some vendetta or something. It's just a terrible product, and it always has been, in my opinion. The resulting reductions for publishers has already been raised by NMPA Chief David Israelite. That's a different name. Gotcha. Though now there are numbers being placed on the possible damage. Billboard's Kristen Robinson estimates a loss of $150 million in mechanical royalties for songwriters and publishers due to this very change. Of course. I've been saying that. I've been saying that. We've been telling you guys all the way. Spotify continues to take from the poorest, hardest working musicians, and they're going to continue to do it. Now, industry bodies like the Association of Independent Music Publishers, alongside the aforementioned National Music Publishers Association, are speaking out about the changes. They're quoted here in saying, "It appears Spotify has returned to attacking the very songwriters who make its business possible," NMPA President and CEO David Israelite said after Spotify introduced its new bundled tiers. He goes on to say, Spotify's attempt to radically reduce songwriter payments by reclassifying their music service as an audiobook bundle is a clinical and potential unlawful move that ends up. It is a cynical and potentially unlawful move that ends our period of relative peace. That's powerful. I had to read that again because I was like, whoa. That's like war talk. We will not stand for their perversion of the settlement we agreed upon in 2022, David said. Oh, man. Uh-oh. And now, can I just show you the reason? This is the reason why I really, maybe all this means nothing to you guys, but if there's one thing that we can agree on every single day, this is like our 37th episode. Every single day, I brought you guys like 3 to 5 new crimes in the music industry. Every day, every single day, all of these warlords are all in disputes and arguments online every day, accusing each other of committing crimes on each other. If there's one thing, you guys don't ever have to agree with me. You don't ever have to side with my opinions. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like my band's music. None of those things. But if there's one thing that we can agree on, it's the observable scientific truth. Is that crooked supervisors run the music industry. And they're all connected to tech development, mechanical royalties, litigation, lawsuits. And the music industry really is a compilation of stories every single day of these tech developers and rich warlords pointing the finger at each other, accusing each other of stealing and breaking the rules. Whether it's Universal Music Group pointing the finger at TikTok, whether it's TikTok pointing the finger at Instagram, whether it's Instagram pointing the finger at another social media or tech company. Spotify has something to say about Apple. Apple has something to say. If there's one thing we know is that all of these companies are all in the same neighborhood. They all outsource. They all employ the same developers. They bounce around company to company, stabbing each other in the back. They all outsource development to third-party developers, third-world countries, and people we'll never meet. And then they all go online and put out press releases attacking each other's products. That's the only thing we know about the music industry, is that there's a lot of rich tech developers that are building gadgets, that are developing technology, and it's all designed to exploit hardworking people trying to make a living and share their art with people. Sticks versus branches. You can pick your favorite villain. You can pick your favorite good guy. I don't care who your favorite band is. Or one thing we know about the music industry, on this 37th episode of this live stream, every single day I come here with a fresh batch of high-priced lawyers, big lawsuits, and accusations through these developers. They all claim one thing about each other, that they're all stealing and hurting their customers. They're all committing fraud. They're all taking off the top, and they're all telling on each other. If I ever had to figure out what's going on in the music industry, you just look at the stories of everybody telling on each other. All these companies are accusing each other of breaking the law. And us as bands and consumers, we all sit at the lowest level of the industry, and we all fucking cheerlead about it. Spotify, iPhone, Samsung. You guys are fucking gone. You guys are just cheerleading for a bunch of criminal organizations, sick rich people with tons of money exploiting technology. They're in your home. They're on your kitchen table. They're in every minute and moment of your life. And they sit every hour, every 24 hours, there's a fresh batch of updated press where the largest tech companies and developers and rich dudes in the world all point the finger at each other and call each other criminals and pedophiles and thieves. You do realize this is where we live. This is your music industry. This is the rock and roll that you guys want. This is it. This is the best we could do. This is the best music industry that we could come up with. The consumers love this shit. Shit is wild. BTMX in the building. How's it going? Yeah, Scott says, regarding the AI, he says, who's actually going to have time to listen to all those songs? Not me. I wouldn't have a care anyway. You couldn't pay me to listen to non-emotional music. AI will be the downfall of humanity. I'll bank my life on it. That's what Scott says. I'm not gonna argue. I truly don't know. I don't know I don't know what's going on. I show up here every day and I just reveal to you, while you guys are all out there, all of my amateur rock and roll, dreamy rock star colleagues and buddies that think they're in the music industry, I'm just here to show you what the real music industry is. It's a bunch of old dudes and developers and coders and people playing with computers that run the music industry. Half of them are developers and coders and people that work on computers, and the others are legislators, politicians, lawmakers, and people in court. There is no music industry beyond the consumer level for independent rock and roll unless you are authentically and truly on a pathway of independence, as I've explained many times. But when we rebrand independence, for a pathway to the industry, that is a mirage. So that, that's what I do here. That's why we only do this for an hour. That's why this show is not 2 hours. Because in another 24 hours, I'll be right here with the next batch of crimes that iTunes and Meta and Google and Universal Music Group, and they're all in court. Think if I was in court today and accused of all type of crimes. Think if I was accused of stealing people's music. Think if I was accused of heinous, adult crimes. Think if the regular people, think if your neighbor was accused of the kind of stuff that our celebrities and politicians and our superstar celebrities and rock stars are accused of all the time. Do you think you'd be getting up on stage going on a tour? If you were accused of all kinds of sex crimes, forget about going to court. If you were even accused of it, do you think you'd be able to get a job? If you were accused of stealing artists' music, think if Sepsis was stealing other rock and roll bands' music. We'd be crucified. Huh, Melissa? Think if I was stealing people's music. We'd never live it down. People can't wait to catch us in some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, Hans says, you and Melissa have been working your ass off for 14 years. Damn, you're making me feel old. Put up all kinds of bullshit along the way. But one thing, you don't quit. And you go music industry. Industry that? Hans, can you proofread this shit? If you want me to read your comments, you better proofread. He just said, kind of bullshit along the way, but one thing for sure, you don't quit. There you go, music industry that. Oh, come on, brother. Then, right below it, DJ Rockhard said, it's common sense. Think before you speak. Yo, I'm not saying that those two comments are related, but I'm saying that is funny. Scott says, I find it funny when people try to use words or expressions to make them look smart when actually they are dumber than they look. I try to tell people all the time, why would you try to use some words that you don't know? Why do you try to talk about something that you have no experience in? You have a much more powerful position allowing other people to help you, you guys. Spare yourself the risk of sounding like a fool and just tell the room you don't know anything about it. Remember me talking to the drum tech yesterday, everybody, and I said, I'm sorry, Shari, I don't know shit. You know what? Here's the thing, a big misconception about William Savant. I'm going to tell you right now. Sometimes people call me Will the Wise. Have you ever heard people call me that before? Some people call me Will the Wise. Now, I hate to burst your bubble. I don't know shit. You see, there's a misconception. People go, oh, ask Will. He knows stuff. No, I'm older than you. I'm 43 years old. That's all it is. I'm older than all the other kids in rock and roll. I'm the old guy in the club. I'm the old guy in the band. Every band's got one. That's me. I'm the guy with the salt and pepper chin hair. I'm the old guy that shakes his fist at the clouds. That's me. That's my role. That shit is funny. So yeah, I tell you, I avoid using words and talking about things that I don't know about. And there's kind of a curse to that. So like if you're somebody like me, I don't talk a lot about, let's say, professional swimming I don't know any terms. I don't know any definitions. So you're not going to hear a lot about professional swimming from me. You know what I mean? I don't really fit into society very well. So you're not going to really hear me talk about, civil type of ideas, because I'm more of a naturalist. I think we're all animals and creatures naked in the woods. You know what I mean? I don't really think that I don't think we're space aliens. I don't think we're special. I don't think we're gods. I don't think all the stuff that people think about themselves. They think they're wards and gods and they're superior to each other and skin color is important and where you live is important and all of that. People think this. Those are man-made ideas. I don't really rock with. That's just my personal thing. So, but what I'm saying is that helps me not adhere. That helps me not attach myself to things that aren't scientific truths. So things that aren't scientific truths, I tend to ignore. So when things come up or topics come up that I don't know about, I shut the fuck up. However, when there is something that I'm passionate about, when there is something that I feel confident about, you guys know me. I'm going to talk more than everybody else in the room. So that's why sometimes it can feel like I'm a real big mouth know-it-all, because I just don't bother talking about things that I don't know about. And I talk a lot about the things that I feel confident about. So it just so happens people don't see me a lot when I don't have nothing to say. When I don't have nothing to say, people don't hear from me. It makes sense. It just goes like what Scott's saying. I just avoid talking stupid shit. Because I try to avoid looking like an idiot in front of people. It's no fun. But there's a side effect to this. If you're somebody that only talks about football, because that's all you know about, people go, he's a fucking narcissist. He thinks he knows everything about football. And it's like, no, he does. That's the only thing the fucking guy does. So, you know what I mean? This is what I do. I do the music industry. I do streaming. I do entertainment. I do acting. I do, you know what I mean? That's what I've done my whole life. So when people are like, why do you think you're an expert at this, Will? It's because I actually am. It's not because I think that I am. It's because this I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm confident in what I'm talking about. I'm even confident when people disagree with me. In fact, that's why I have so many friends, because I have a lot of people in my life that disagree with me, and it's perfectly fine. People can disagree with William, and that doesn't break our friendship up. People can have different ideas than me. It doesn't separate me or make me weak in my friendships. My friendships and the people that I'm close with in life, we are very different. We have different politics and different beliefs and different tastes and different opinions. And it's because of these differences that make us strong. It's because of these differences that really unites us. Because I don't bother talking about shit I don't know about. I need other people in my life, and I'm not one of those people and part of the species that's convinced that I don't need the species. I told you I only pay attention to scientific truths. We're a pack animal, so I'm fully aware of myself in the sense that no one man can manufacture a pencil to write his name with it. You understand what I'm saying? No, I understand. We need people. We need each other. That's why I fuck with the people that I need, and I ignore the people I don't. Let me read Gio's reply. Spiffy is just a corporate money grab. This is the latest gasp of a company that sees the changing horizon and is just grabbing what it can. Oof. Short-sighted profit margins with no consideration for future viability. This is the same thing that happened to Pandora's dominance. The ground is moving beneath them. Yo, I'm saying, Gio, that is exactly what I'm saying, bro. That's it. You just hit it right on the head. I've heard of them calling you lots of names. They only do it once. I love that. I love that. I love that. Joe, how's it going, man? I'm the old guy also, 61, first album of original material. Yo, congratulations. And let me just remind everybody right now, I didn't get out you know, out into the world until I was 35 years old. My entire life, I had grown up in lockups and institutions, and I met Melissa when I was nearly 30 years old, and she changed my life with this band. I went back into prison, and I maxed out and finished up and completed my sentence so I could come out and make music in this band, and it's completely changed my life. I didn't release my first professional song until 2020, and 4 years later, I can say we're almost done with our second album. Sepsis and Melissa and heavy metal music has changed my life completely. There is absolutely no limit, or there's no industry, there's no age limit, there's no height limit. It doesn't matter what skin color you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, or you know, whatever you're in. Make sure that you're doing things for the right reasons, and remember that there's no statute of limitations to love in your life. Remember, Brother Will, we might be the old ones, but we are classic, yo, for real. I don't mind being my age. So all my young friends are like, dude, you're getting old, man. I'm like, yeah, good. Good, because I don't want to be 20. I'll tell you what. That's one thing I don't want to be today, is 20 years old. That's what I don't want to be. This is something no one can ever take away from us. I got 47 years of knowledge. See, that's what I'm saying. We are that wise old man in the forest that everyone comes to with the questions. That's right. That's right. Let me tell you something, man. I don't mind being the most responsible person in the room. I really don't. That's why I keep asking the questions. The other thing is like, once you get to my age, you also finally realize it's nice and it's fun and it's valuable to listen to people that are more experienced than you and have been on the earth a little bit longer. I love my friends in my 50s and 60s and 70s. I love them more than anything else. I will shut up and listen to all of them for hours. If you ever want to hear me truly shut up, and it's very rare, you got to get some old people around me. The reason why I never shut up is because I'm usually the oldest person in the fucking room. I love my young people. Don't take that in a bad way, you guys. They're keeping me, y'all keeping me young. See, people don't realize the younger folks are here to keep us energized. They're here to ask the questions and keep us energized, looking for answers. You know what I mean? And when we don't have them, that's not defeat. You know what I mean? We are the responsible ones that have inherited this role on the planet of being responsible enough to give these folks transparent, valuable answers. And when we don't have them, we try to help people find the conduit and pathway to develop in that. You know? Well, Spotify is just a corporate money grab. This is the last... Oh, okay. Oh, I read that. I'm sorry. It was so good, I almost read it again. Yo, Gio said, I'm not old. I'm vintage. Nice to see you back. BTMX in the building. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for still being here, everybody. All you guys that been rocking with us from day one, especially you guys, 5, 10, now 14 years out. You guys know from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. That I don't skip around. My voice doesn't crack when I say it. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for being in my life. I know last year, and there's been a couple times in this band when only a very small people wanted to run away from us. You most important people ran towards us, and we'll never forget you for that. When everybody, when there was a very small amount of people that wanted to run away from us, when there were people in our lives that ran away from sepsis, you guys ran towards us, and we'll never ever forget that. That's how we know who our real friends are. We're doing better now than ever. We are very, very, very proud of our company and the team right now. They're working so hard. I cannot wait to show the world what they have accomplished. The band looks and sounds better than they ever have. And I think we're about to come out with a new single with Lexi and Melissa on it. And Hot Sauce is on the guitar solo. I think we're about to release that pretty soon. It's just a money thing. We haven't had money to release music. That's the truth. You know, we don't want to release the music and have nobody listen to it. We got to put a little bit of promotion on it. You know, we got to try to move it around a little bit. But getting ready for Rockfest and trying to cover bills and pay the rent and just be people. We just don't have the money to release music. We have a lot of new music, but we don't have any money to, you know, master it and promote it and get it moved around. It's tough. We don't really have any budget right now for social media ads and trying to get press, or, you know, trying to have micro influencers play it, or campaigns, or our publicists. It's just right now we just don't have the bread. But we do got great music. We have some good music coming, I promise. And when we do have some money to finance ourselves responsibly, we will put out new music, I promise. We have it though. We do have it. I wish I could share it with you guys. I think we will start mixing and mastering some more of it, and then our subscribers and people that are Patreons and people that are help growing the band, the music will be available to you sooner than others. As you guys know, our subscribers, Yellow Jackets, and people in that tier will have our newest single faster than everybody else. Yo, thank you, Bishop. I appreciate that. Yo, what's up? Skills in the building. What's good with you? Everybody say what's up, Skills. So yeah, you guys, that's the show for today. I think that's the last I don't want to pick up any large articles on my way out. Oh, this one's a small one. All right, let's do this one. Apple Music Partner Program delivers data treasure trove for artists and labels. All right, you guys, listen up. This is a good one if you're independent label, or you're artists like us. Listen up. Apple Music unveiled a new subscription data analytics program aimed at record labels and distributors, dubbed Apple Music Partner Program. Subscribers will gain access to over 4,500 charts, rankings, as much as 1,500 songs across 60 genres and 270 regions. The tool uses Apple's Shazam technology to monitor airplay over 40,000 broadcasts and streaming radio stations globally. The result is subscribers get real-time listener counts for all of the songs in their catalogs, with the accompanying tools to measure marketing campaign success. Apple says some of these charts will be made available to the public as charts on Shazam or as playlists in Apple Music. That includes global top 200 and breakdowns across 16 formats and genres. The Chart Explorer dashboard also makes it easy for artists to track new milestones and spot emerging trends on the rise before they go viral. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that English. Gio, you heard that? Makes it easy for artists to track milestones and spot, predict, emerging trends on the rise before they go viral? Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. That's the kind of stuff we look at on this program. By default, Chart Explorer will display data from the past 7 days. Subscribers can use filters at the top of the dashboard to tailor the search by storefront, chart type, date, chart genre, and specify range. Sections highlight the total number of chart appearances for an artist as well as top rising content. Data from 2015 onward will appear in these charts. Searching for an artist gives a detailed view of the chart history for their full catalog. Subscribers can also specify a song or album to see where it landed on any chart. Filtering further by storefront and chart genre can help narrow results even further. Seems like everyone's just trying to be able to predict success. All these tools seem to be about managing and predicting your success. And anytime I start thinking about consumers making predictions, I start thinking about casinos and lotteries and scratch tickets. When you're predicting that you're going to win, you know? If you're it shows that the music industry is a competition. A competition that if you have if the competition is based on metrics and numbers, then if you have a certain amount of money, then you can cheat. An artist's chart history offers an overview of their most popular content and chart rankings. The chart appearances selection offers top-line metrics on that artist's chart performance from the last 7 days. The charting content section allows subscribers to drill down into any charting release from an artist's catalog to see the history for that specific release. There you have it. That's what we got. That's what we got. We do a 24-hour live to help out. Oh, no, that's real. That's real. You know, it is a war. It's a war on ideas. It's a war on authenticity. It's a war on ownership. It's a war on value. It's a war on English. It's a war on words. It's a war on data. It's a war on privacy. It's a war on space. It's a war on storage. It's a war on subscriptions. It's a war on your wallet. It's a war on your mind. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow with more industry news, social media news, and technology here on William vs. the World. I appreciate you, and I love all y'all out there. Go out and see some bands, would you? Be cool, be kind, be generous,